name's Leslie, and I'm a PNN author. I write on issues with tips and ideas for how to live a more green and sustainable lifestyle.
All right. So why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself, like who you are, what you do for a living?
Sure. I live in Southern California, and I'm a single mom, and I do a couple things for a living. I actually am a partner in a marketing communications firm that specializes in what's called cause marketing. So we work with nonprofits, government agencies, public and private companies, as well as celebrities to promote various issues and causes that are in the public interest. And then also I'm a writer. I write for a couple of sites, including PNN for the Going Green site. I also write for a site called Celsius, which is all about climate change and environmental issues. And I'm just starting to write for a site called Divorce 360, which is all about people who are going through or thinking about going through a divorce and kind of how to get through it and ideas for, how to help the kids through it, how to help themselves through it, that kind of thing. So I'm both a writer and I have a marketing firm, and I also am a published poet.
So why did you choose to start writing for PNN?
I had been writing quite a bit for Celsius, which is a much more sort of scientific and kind of high-level site for people who are interested in climate change issues. And it's a great site, and I've interviewed some amazing people and researched some amazing articles. But what I realize is that the opportunity for people who may not have the time or the interest to do all of that investigating on environmental issues, to really do their own research, that those same people still want to know about living a sustainable lifestyle. And so PNN really gave me this opportunity to talk about it in much more sort of layperson's terms and make it very simple for anybody and everybody to get on the sustainability bandwagon, and to do it in a way that isn't about spending more money in order to be green, but actually having a better life, saving money, and taking care of the environment all at the same time. And I found there was really a lack of that kind of information, and that PNN gave me the opportunity to kind of disseminate that information.
Why is green living important to you, or sustainability, or whatever you want to call it?
Like a lot of people, I think I came into this from a number of different directions. I grew up in a very political household, liberal political household, I should say. And, we always sort of, and I grew up in the 70s, so, and 80s. So, we always kind of followed the law of the land. Don't litter, turn off your lights, turn down your thermostat, that kind of thing. But I wouldn't say that we really integrated ideas about environmental protection or sustainability into our lives growing up. Not that my parents didn't care, but it just wasn't sort of common. When I was actually in graduate school and didn't have a lot of money, I ended up living with some people who were real, not from an environmental standpoint, but from a money standpoint, real conservationists. They used everything. They threw nothing away. Everything had a second use, another life. They really were very frugal. And I sort of got into it because I also was struggling financially. And then the other direction that I really came at it from was for health reasons. I, very young, was diagnosed with cancer. And my daughter was not too long after that diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. And so I found that really focusing on organic food, hormone-free milk, being a vegetarian, cutting out dairy, all those kinds of things that also, by the way, happen to be good for the environment, really helped us both health-wise. So it was a lot of different angles. It was the political angle. It was the philosophical angle. It was the, frugality angle, which I think is way sort of underutilized skill we all have in this country. And it was certainly the health angle. And the more research I did, the more I talk to people kind of in this field, the more, I have to say Al Gore's movie, even though I felt like I knew a lot at that time about global warming and the environment, really was still an eye-opener for me in terms of how quickly it was all happening. I think that it comes from a lot of different places, and when you put it all together, what I've found is that my life is better, I'm happier, I have more appreciation for the things that I do sort of splurge in, and there is, I have more disposable income because I'm not spending it buying Starbucks coffee every day. There's all kinds of benefits I find, and it really makes me happier.
That's interesting. I've gotten the opportunity to ask a couple different people that, it seems like, in interviews, a similar question. And yours is definitely the most personalized that I've come across.
Well, my feeling is that if it feels like a struggle to do it, and it feels like giving things up to do it, whatever the thing is you're doing, that the chances of success at it are pretty slim to none. So for me, I like riding my bike. So to say, okay, I'm going to ride my bike if I have an errand that's less than 5 miles is a positive thing. It means that I'm taking more time for myself. I like gardening. So if I'm going to have compost out back so I can grow my garden better, that to me is a positive thing. And I think that part of where the environmental movement perhaps has not really, although we've gotten great coverage in the media, all the coverage in the media you could actually ask for, the environment is still pretty low on people's lists. And I think part of the reason is that they equate it with giving things up and having to sort of go out of their way in order to take care of the environment. And what I found is that if you really embrace it in ways that work for you, it really is personal, and it really does enhance your life.
That's great. I love the attitude you take towards it.
Thank you.
So what can we expect coming up from Going Green?
Well, my plan is really to continue to sort of focus on those tips and ideas and thoughts that really are about how to integrate it into your life in a way that makes your life more positive. And also some of the funner stuff, the funner side of the green movement, whether it's what's cool and happening from a design sense, or I did a post the other day about some of my favorite films that have environmental themes. I put up some stuff about who some of these luminaries are and scientists behind what we hear about. And, there's interesting stuff. I think the other thing to me is it doesn't have to be, it's a serious issue. I would never deny that it is a serious issue. But the way that we approach it can have some fun and some frivolity and creativity in it. And I think that our environmental crisis right now really offers us an incredible opportunity for creativity. And, to imagine a world in which we're all empowered to be more creative, I think, is really a great goal regardless of what you're being creative towards. So if in being creative and realizing all of our own potential, we can also solve some of these crises, how great would that be? So really continue to focus on how people can make this easy to become part of their lives.